Hello, hello. Welcome back to my podcast, Edible Paper. I'm your host, Paper Izzy, and today I'm going to continue on with my series of reading the Bible. My dog just yawned, so if you heard it, you heard it. So, we left off in Genesis 10, and we're going to start on Genesis 11 and just read until I feel like I'm done reading. I'm having a lot of fun doing these episodes of reading the Bible, especially from like a current outlook that I have on life. And if you didn't know, the concept of this podcast is I take a Delta 9 gummy and then I do stuff and I talk about things. And today's thing is more of the Bible. Let's start in Genesis 11. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. Slime? Ew. The Bible talking about slime. Where did the slime come from? Ew. Okay. Verse 4, and they said, Go to, let us build a city and a tower whose top may reach into heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. That doesn't sound like correct grammar, but okay. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one. This cannot be correct English. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad the face of the earth. Okay, so like God talking to himself again is saying how it was always kind of presented to me as like the Tower of Babel, like God confused them with the languages because they were trying to build a tower to heaven, and it was like not going to happen or something. I really don't know like what the point of that is. But in the Bible, really, it seems like God's like, God, me. No, it seems like God is just thinking like, wow, they're going to be so powerful if they're all connected, if they all get along, which is a crazy thing to think. Like, no wonder so many Christians don't want to get along with people because like everyone got along in the Bible and God like ruined their lives. Like, what if like your best friend automatically spoke a different language and there was no way for anybody to know what they were saying because the language is new? And it obviously, again, like I've been mentioning with the other episodes in this series, I think this is whoever back in the ye old day was trying to rationalize how we had different languages through like fairy tales, and that is the Bible. Verse 11, and Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 35 years and begat Salah. And Arphaxad lived after he begat Salah 403 years, begat sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 34 years and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat RuPaul. And Pegleg, Pegleg and RuPaul. And Peleg lived after he begat 209 years and begat sons and daughters. And lived 32 years and begat Serug. And lived after he begat Serug 207 years and begat sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begat Nahor. And Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years and begat sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 920 years and begat Terah. And Nahor, whatever his name is. Nar lived after he begat Terah 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abraham, Nahor, Haran, and Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abraham and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's, sorry, he's not called Abraham yet. I misspoke. It's Abram. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter. Milcah. I can't. Oh, okay. Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren, she had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur to the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. The days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. I thought Haran was a person. Whatever. Okay, that was an insane chapter of the Bible. It again is just more lineage. I'm so tired of the lineage portions. It's so repetitive. Oh my god. But these names, freaking Nar and RuPaul and Milka. Oh my god. Milka. I don't know. That one just got me tickled. So let's move on. We're on Abram now, and he's like, Abraham, he's famous, he's a star, he's an iconic Bible character, which, I mean, honestly, this whole thing, like, this is so fucked up. Like, this part of the Bible that we're getting to is really fucked up. Like, Abraham and Sarah and, like, their whole thing they had going on. And this is, like, in the story that kind of made me want to read the Bible again with Hagar. And it's just, this is a really fucked up story in the Bible. So I don't know how much we're going to get through, but all of it's pretty fucked up. So, chapter 12. Now the Lord God said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. This is Zionism. I mean, it is. It's basically like that's like even like Christian Zionists are like in the Bible it says that we have to bless Israel and bless da 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 da. But it's like, girl, just bless who you want to bless. It, oh my god, this is too much. So let's keep going. Verse 4. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance, the substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. The souls that they had gotten in Haran. Ew. They're out here stealing people's souls and like Sailor Moon villain shit. Oh my. Verse 6. And Abram passed through the land into the place of Sichem and the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. But he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent. Having Bethel on the west and Hai on the east, there he builded an altar unto the Lord and called upon the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south, and there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram was come unto Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her, and commanded her before Pharaoh that the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abram well for her sake, and he had sheep and oxen, and he asses, and men servants, and maid servants, and she asses and camels. I remember back like in the Christian school, obviously you're like not supposed to curse, and like ass is a cuss word. So like anytime like we were able to like read the word asses, it just felt like so wrong. Like I'm committing a sin, but it's in the Bible, so it must be okay. It's like, oh, it meant something different back then. Yeah, whatever. He's got asses and a manservant. It sounds like Abram's got it going on, I tell you that much. That's disgusting. If I wasn't going to hell before, I sure am now. Oh my god. But yeah, basically this is like Abram's wife Sarai is like super hot. So he's like, just pretend that you're my sister so they don't kill me to steal you from me. But it still sounds like they still like take Sarai. I don't know what they do with her. I guess we'll see. Verse 17, And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, She is my sister, so I might have taken her to me to wife? Now therefore, behold thy wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded, Go, do you know the way? And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him that they sent him away and his wife and all that he had. So God started plaguing poor Egypt and the Pharaoh because Abram lied about Sarai being his wife, and I don't see why God would care that much. Like, you know why it happened is because of Abram. So the Pharaoh didn't have any, like, wasn't really doing anything wrong unless like he was forcing himself on Sarah, and then but it just, it's such a strange story. Like, why did we need to know that? Like, what is that for anything? Like, well, my wife's really hot, and everybody wants to have sex with her, so I'm gonna say I'm her brother. So they still have sex with her, but don't kill me. But they're not gonna have a chance to because God's gonna plague them, and then they're gonna be mad. And it's like so convoluted. Oh, well, we're at chapter 13, and Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him, into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle and silver and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Hai, unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. The land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was so great that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle, and the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes, and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that there it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest to Zoar. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves, the one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent towards Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. And Lord said, I don't know why I keep saying that, and Lord, just Oh my god. Oh my god. Abram dwelt. Oh my god. Verse 13 again. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. Verse 14. And the Lord said unto Abram after that Lot was separated from him, Lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art, northward and southward, and eastward and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth. Ugh, dusty seed. Ew. Ugh. So that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. So basically, I'm pretty sure this is where like the whole like um God blessed the Jewish people with like Israel and like all this land, and that's why like now today they use it as like justification for genocide. So that's kind of unfortunate. Not Jewish people, but Israel, the government of Israel, and honestly, the United States too. Like we're so intrinsically linked. Like I'm not going to get too much into politics in this because we're talking about the Bible, but like this affects the politics of today, which is insane. Like I don't like that's the thing. Is like I like the Bible, whatever. Like I like some of the Christian mythology. I don't really believe in it, but it's like we're using this old crusty book to dictate what's going on in the world today. And it's like, girl, it's like picking up like looking at the drawings on a cave and be like, I have to live my life by this drawing. Oh, oh my. It's a lot. Let's continue on. I think I wanna finish out with Sodom and Gomorrah because gay people. Oh. So chapter 14. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Che Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and with Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, and Shemibar, king of Zeboam, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the Vale of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served. I hate this name. Chedorlama. Chedorlaomer. I'm just gonna say Chedorlama. And in the 13th year they rebelled. And in 14 years came Chedorlama and the kings that were with him, and smote their Rephaim and Ashtaroth, Karnaim, and Zuzims in Ham, and the Imims in Shava Kiriathaim, and Horites in their Mount Seir unto El Paran, which is by the wilderness. And they returned and came to in Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all of the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwelt in Hezezon Tamar. And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, the same is Zor, and they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim, with Chedorlama, the king of Elam, and with Tidal, king of nations, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings with 5. And the Vale of Siddim was full of slime pits. What on earth? Slime and slime pits? Like, what is going on in the Bible? Ew, slime pits? Oh, maybe it's just mud, but like, oh, that's such an awful word. Ugh. And the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountain. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals and went their way. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that had escaped, and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshol, and brother of Aner, and these were confederate with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, one in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. Poor Dan. I'm pretty sure that's a place. Anyways, Abram just has an army of servants. That's kind of terrifying. And like, why are we supposed to believe that Abraham, whatever, like that he was like a good person? Because like none of this seems very good. Like, how is he like one of like the big Bible people that we're supposed to like look at? Like, he seems like a terrible person. Oh, verse 15, and he divided himself against them, he and his servants by night, and smote them, and pursued them into Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer, R.I.P. Chedorlaomer, and the kings that were with him at the valley of Shaveh, which is the king's dale, and Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the Most High God, which hath delivered thine enemies into thine hand. And he gave him tithes of all. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the persons, and take the goods to thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up mine hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread even to a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich, save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Aner, Eshol, and Mamre, let them take their portion. So I guess they were going to give him a lot of stuff. And he was like, I don't want your stuff. I don't want your blood money. I don't want you to say that you made me rich because I'm rich on my own, I guess. I got my own money. Bro, I can get over slime pits though. Oh my. This is boring. I'm bored. Like, when are we going to get to the good stuff? The murder. Chapter 15. After these things, into the word of the Lord came into Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eleazar? And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. Which, disgusting, first of all, out of thy bowels? Ew, that's disgusting. I could have lived my whole life without that. Like, bowels? Seriously? Oh, I don't know what they mean in that verse, so let's move on. Chapter 5. And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. Okay, so this is talking about like Abraham being like, I don't have any kids. He said, I'm going to have all these kids that my seed is going to be like dusty and cover the earth. There's going to be as many children as there is sand. And Abram's mad because he hasn't had kids yet. And this is that again. At least like the stars is a little bit of a nicer visual metaphor, I guess. Uh, verse 7. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees, to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, Take me an heifer of 3 years old, and she a goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And a young pigeon. Oh, and he took unto them all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another. but the birds he divided not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down, and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. And the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land from the river of Egypt into unto the great river, the river Euphrates, and the Kenites, and the Kenizzites, and the Cadmonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephaims, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and Jebusites. Sounds like a candy. That was the end. Oh my god, that's like, oh, I was looking at Perizzites, I guess, but it if you take away the per, it's just Izziites or Izzites. Ugh. Well, that was such a letdown. That was such a terrible ending to that chapter. It's like, okay, like these are the people that are gonna live amongst your seed. Chapter 16. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abram, Behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai, and Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went into Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. So basically, Sarai forces Abram and um, Hagar to get married, and I'm like, how much say did Hagar actually have in all of this? You know, like this just seems kind of fucked up. Actually, it seems kind of fucked up. It really does. Poor Hagar. And he went into Hagar and she conceived. That's leaving out a lot of stuff in between. And then after she has a child, or after she it like is pregnant with a child, then Sarai's mad at her. Like, it's your fault. You did that. You wanted them to have sex. This is fucked up. Like I said, this is a fucked up part of the Bible. I mean, most of the Bible's fucked up, but this is crazy. Verse 5. And Sarai said unto Abram, My wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom, and when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes, and the Lord judged between me and thee. Or does Hagar hate Sarai? I would hate Sarai too. I mean, honestly. But Abram said unto Sarai, Behold, thy maid is in thy hand, do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. Okay, so Sarai just doesn't like her. Now when Sarai dealt hardly with her, like, what does that mean? Like, was she yelling at her? Was she beating her? Like, what is happening? I feel really bad for Hagar. The other two just seem like assholes. Verse 7. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence camest thou, and whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt name his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thou God seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Wherefore the well was called Beer-lahai-roi. Beer-lahai-roi. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. Okay, again, like I've said, this part of the Bible is kind of messed up, but here it's also like God being like, no, no, I'm so sorry that Sarah beat you or whatever, but can you just go back? Because I'll give you a lot of children and grandchildren and great grandchildren. And it's like, I guess that's something they really did strive for back in the day, is like having lots of children. But girl, that's like, congratulations, you're gonna have so many children and they're gonna have so many children. I don't care about that. I don't want someone abusing me. So I could have more children that are probably gonna get abused. Like it says here, like Ishmael, like everyone's gonna be against him and he's gonna be against everyone else. And like, how is that like appealing to anyone? It was like, thanks God, that's a really shitty deal you gave this poor woman. No wonder Christianity is fucked up nowadays, because this is this is messed up. Oh my God. Chapter 17. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect, and I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after three in their generations. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child, in your generations, he that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. So they're just out here buying children. Okay. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money must needs to be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, thou shalt be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And God said unto Abraham, As for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Okay, I'm going to stop because there's a lot of circumcision going on. It's like if you buy a child or you have a child, like any person that comes into your house needs to be circumcised. Go circumcise yourself right now, which I will mourn my foreskin until the end of time. Sorry, not sorry. And it's like, why do we mutilate our children because of the Bible? Like this is what I'm saying. Like, why is everything revolved around this bullshit? I'm sorry. Like, if you're a Christian, I'm not trying to offend you, I promise. Because I was a Christian for many years and I know how that feels. But, like, to take all of this literal and, like, transform the world around us into something because of this old book that's a little much, y'all. That's a little much. Where was I? Verse 17. Then Abram fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear? And Abraham said unto God, Oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And God said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. Oh, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the self same day as God had said unto him. Oh my God, so he legitimately like rounded everyone up and circumcised them. That's crazy. That's a horror movie on its own. The circumcision coming this Halloween. Again, back to circumcision. Like, how does like the foreskin, how is that like a covenant with God? Like, here you go, God, here's my foreskin. I'm saying foreskin too much. It's grossing me out. Verse 24. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised and Ishmael his son. And all the men of his house, born in the house and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him. All right, I'm calling it with that one. That's crazy. That's why was that whole like chapter just about like cutting off people's foreskin? I do not know. That's fucked up, y'all. I think actually like that's a good place to end it because this is a strange part of the Bible, slime pits and like foreskin. It's like, ew, what is going on? This has been a very gross few chapters of the Bible. Anyways, if you liked this episode of the podcast, let me know in the comments. Make sure to give it a like. And most importantly, please subscribe for more human generated art and other goodies. Um, Also, look at my Patreon, subscribe to that if you'd like. That's a way to support me monetarily. And I really love this podcast. This is really fun to read the Bible again and like go through all these really wacky stories. Like that's a nice way of putting it. Oof. So yeah, thank you for listening, and that's me, your host, Paper Izzy, signing off. Stay edible, everyone. Ugh, slime pits. Ew.